Hello everyone, welcome back to the True Crime Friday podcast. Little thing I need to add before we go into this episode. We kind of had a few technical issues over the course of the start of the podcast with Matt's audio. That's now all fixed. You'll be able to tell in this recording, everything's fixed now, the setup's a lot better. Also, another thing to add is in the previous episode with Ted Bundy, I mentioned quite a few times that this was that was episode 27, that I'm at Download Festival as that episode goes out, all this kind of thing. And even at the end of the video, you see it say that the previous episode was Mary Bell. However, obviously that wasn't the case. Due to scheduling issues, we ended up having to switch them all around, the two around, and this decision only got made after that episode was recorded. So apologies for that one, and there was a lot of issues with my computer, so I didn't have actually any time before releasing the episode to explain it in full. And I've not been home. I got back yesterday, as I do talk about. There is also another 20-minute talk and rambling about music in this episode as well, which we apologise for. We're going to possibly make a separate podcast just to talk about music. But yeah, skip 20 minutes and it gets into the episode. But you like to hear the random blabber about music, then that's cool, let me know. But yeah, apologies for that one. This is episode 27, all about Mary Bell. So just a quick disclaimer before we go into it. There is a lot of mentions of child murder, violence, and possible sexual assault that some people may find upsetting and or disturbing, and the sexual abuse of a child that, a lot of people will find very triggering. We're not here to glorify any of these criminals that we do talk about. This is for the pure fascination into the mind of someone who can do these kind of things. But, enjoy the episode, and apologies again for the mishap. We will be fully on track next week. I look like genuine garbage right now, but oh well. Let's call the fucker. Hello?
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm doing good.
I am partially dead.
Doing kind of good. Whoa, it looks weird. The water, that's water in there. I don't know why it's all weird.
I've got a can of Monster because I desperately needed it. I got back at like 3 o'clock and it was a coach journey, which was not good.
Yeah, I've got water because I've been feeling a bit ill.
Oh no.
Past couple of days, yeah.
So yeah,
it's just worst from worst. First off, I had a banging, sore head, and then my throat just felt entirely sore, and then I've got a cough. So, great.
Yay! Yeah, I got back at 3, so I look like shit right now because I'm like, no. I got back at 3. Got back to my hotel this morning at 3 in the morning as well, so that was fun. But Slam Dunk was fucking great. Slam Dunk.
Yeah, who did you see? Spill the beans.
Okay, so saw Cassiette to start off, then Counterparts, which were really...
Can I just say, from what I did see, is that there was, they put up the Clash Finder.
Yeah.
And a lot of people weren't happy with how much stuff clashed.
Yeah, they changed it.
Because they had a lot of acts pulled out, sadly.
Yeah, the used pulled out.
But I know they made up for it because the Wonder Years played.
The Wonder Years played like
Come on, do you not know the classic albums they played? The Upsides and Suburbia.
I don't listen. I'm not gonna lie, this one you're gonna hate me. I don't listen to the Wonder Years.
I get into the Wonder Years from my mate. One of my mates got me into the Wonder Years, and I love the Wonder Years. Old Wonder Years is good. I mean, if any of you like their first album, I think it's okay. I know they don't like it, but the Upsides and Suburbia. I keep saying it's not Suburban, it's Suburbia. I've given you all, and now I'm nothing. And then obviously the Greatest Generation, which people really love, but that's a great 3 trilogy album. It's just so good. I mean, it's not quite Philly, but they probably still make a great show regardless of where they go. But I've seen the live shows of them in Philly, because well, we shall educate Lauren because she doesn't like the Wonder Years. They're from Philadelphia, and it's the infamous meme because they have the song "Came Out Swinging" and the breakdown or the bridge. It says "Came out swinging of a South Philly basement," so it's kind of like a meme.
Yeah,
sort of thing with
Ali
the
loves the Wonder Years, and so does my
But they
flatmate.
did it that way, which I thought was really good. They had the slot space, so they just said the Wonder Years could play for longer.
Yeah, they did both out. They did 2 albums basically.
So you saw those people. Who else did you see?
Yeah, so I saw Cassia, Counterparts, Silverstein.
Oh, Celestine! Yes. What songs did they play?
Memory needs to eventually come back.
Oh, come on! Do you actually listen to Silverstein? They're one of my favorite.
I listened to them a little bit. They played Heroin.
Oh, come on! I knew you'd say that. Oh, my favorite song's My Heroin. You
Right.
didn't even say my. It's not heroin. It's My Heroin.
Okay, God correct me. I saw Chunk.
Oh yes,
I
sorry.
did. I caught a bit of their sex. I did run back to go and get back in time for Silverstein because the stages were very far away from each other. Like you had to run from one side of the park to the other, so it was like time was.
I mean,
a pain in the ass.
Silverstein are still killing it, man. Like for one of the bands that's been in the scene for quite a while, they still kill it. Canadian artists do it so well, but
I didn't stay for
anyone.
Yeah, because I didn't stay for their entire set because In Her Own Words were on were on before their set ended, so I went to go watch In Her Own Words because I love them. But
Yeah.
they had technical difficulties, so they were only on for like 15 minutes, which fucking sucked.
Oh.
Yeah. Then I went to go and see Electric Callboy because I felt like I had to because that was just that was just pure vibes. That was fucking brilliant. The drummer was ill.
I know saw that.
The drummer was ill, so they got a mannequin and dressed up the mannequin and put it on the drum kit and just played a backing track.
Oh, that was good.
So that was really fun. Then I saw Amity, obviously.
Okay.
That was great. And then went to go and see Beartooth because I had tickets to go see them next year, but it clashes now because it got rescheduled. It clashes with another band I'm seeing on the same day, so I was like, I'm gonna go watch Beartooth. Yeah. Stayed for a little bit of Alexis on Fire, but then I was like, I'm gonna go watch Neck Deep, so I went to go watch Neck Deep.
Yeah, there's a lot of acts where it's like you want to see this one, but you have to maybe miss the end or miss the start because of another act. You know.
Yes.
I'd hate that because like if I saw Silverstein, I'd want to see the whole entire set because I know they're gonna play their newest stuff, and I know they're gonna play their old stuff from songs like My Heroin and the other songs they have. You fake fan, like Smile in Her Sleep.
I thought I'd catch them. I don't really properly listen to them, so I thought
Always
I'd just
and
catch them
Never, Your Sword versus My Dagger, and then When Broken is Easily Fixed, songs from their debut albums, which are so good.
So I need to figure out Clash Finder for download next. That's my next one because there's quite a few bands that I really want to go see. Mostly they're on the main. It's all main stage stuff for me for the Friday of download. So that's pretty easy. Like Bury Tomorrow, Skin Dread, A Day to Remember, Kiss, stuff like that. And I'm like, yes. Trying to see.
This Slam Dunk has a great lineup. I mean, there's so many artists on there that I would have gone seen. But the thing is that it appeals to lots of like audiences. I'll say it now. It's Smashed Into Pieces. I didn't mention that with Silverstein. I'm a big fan, so I gotta get my favorite Silverstein song in there. But there's a lot of stages that have like music that appeal to people who like the hardcore stuff, or your more metalcore, or your more pop punk stuff, and. The thing is, there's only one person that I saw that actually went to the, I believe they call it the Punk and Drublick stage. Is that what the stage called? I'm pretty sure it is.
No.
The Punk and Drublick stage.
No. There's Dickies, Jägermeister.
Oh no, it's Dickies. Oh, it's the Dickies stage.
Yeah, so that was that's main stage.
Sorry, yeah, no, it's Punk and Drublick must be can't remember what is that. Punk and Drublick's a stage on another one because obviously that's the album by NoFX, but no, because Mod Son, was he playing?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, he wouldn't go. Oh, Kenny Hoopla. I know people went to see Kenny Hoopla, and he looked banging. I love Kenny Hoopla.
Yeah, because because a couple of my friends they went to North with me, and then they've been at the South today, so they can go see everyone.
Yeah, because I'm just looking at it here, right? You've got, the main stage, which is Alexis on Fire, Beartooth, Amity Affliction Silverstein, the Used Would Have Played. That's basically more your post-hardcore sort of stuff, to generalize it. Then you've got like Rock Stage, which is your big, pop punk acts. So, sorry, Neck Deep,
Yeah.
Story So Far. Oh, I would have killed to see Parker Cannon. I mean, they just fired their bassist, which is a bit of a shame. I mean, there's something I could say, but I won't say.
Yeah, I was like
anything on that because they've not released any statement. Well, they've released a statement, but I'm not saying anything on what I think. I just think they just parted ways because it was time.
Yeah, I was running from mostly just Jägermeister stage, Rock Scene, and Key Club stage. Cause so I was
Key
running.
Club, Key Club. That's the one that had like Hot Mulligan, wasn't it? Mum's Jeans.
Yes. Yeah, so they have like a left side. It's all in the same tent, and they have two stages in there, so they just alter between them.
Yeah. This is it. The one 3H03 set it off Stand Atlantic. That's more like a random assortment of like 2000s. Because Def Havana, did they play? Yeah.
Yes.
But it's the Dickey stage where I didn't see much people go to, and I would have loved to have gone there. I know it's, for some, it's probably appealing to the older folk. I mean, loads of people went to see Sum 41, but, like, you had the Suicide Machines, like, come on.
Oh, yeah, they were.
The Vandals, Streetlight Manifesto, Pennywise, the Interrupters, and the Dropkick Murphys.
Suicide Machines were a bit drunk.
I mean, what?
Just a bit. They were just a little bit drunk.
That's, like, prime 90s and 2000s, like, punk there that you've just missed out on. That's why I love that stage, but I just feel as though people don't appreciate it. Like,
people appreciate it. It always depends. It really just does. It really depends.
Because they had the Epitaph tent where you could win goodies. I would have killed to go anywhere near any of this Epitaph.
Who was on that stage last year?
Joe was there for the Vandals. I mean, come on, it's the fucking Vandals, man.
Yeah. So last year. It wasn't. So last year, the Rock Scene was the main stage, and it was Don Broco, Water Park, State Champs, Mayday Parade, We Are the In Crowd, Creeper, As It Is, Hello Goodbye, and...
Who was on Dickies? Who was on Dickies then, for that?
There wasn't Dickies stage last year.
Was it Punk and Drublic then?
Yes. Because that's
what it's called.
Yeah, that's when it had, like, Frank Turner and stuff like that, yeah.
Well, who was on that then, last year?
NoFX, Frank Turner... There's a few of these I don't really listen to, if I'm being completely honest.
NoFX, ultimate must-see. Like, what the fuck are you doing if you don't go and see NoFX?
I was mostly, literally... that last year we were running around literally everywhere, because on Jägermeister stage, you had Trash Boat, While She Sleeps, Bury Tomorrow, Your Demise... Malevolent, Skin Dread, Funeral for a Friend, stuff like that. So a lot of people were kind of like, we're just running everywhere last year. Because...
Wait, Slam Dunk Festival, is it 2021?
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got NoFX, Frank Turner, Alkaline Trio, Anti-Flag, Zebrahead, you've got Snuff! What? Why would you not go and see Snuff?
Because some things clash, and I was...
they're punk rock royalty Snuff.
I know, but I was at Rock Scene stage because I wanted to go see Mayday, and I wanted to see State Champs, and I wanted to go see Water Parks. And We're the In Crowd, and Broco,
and then
obviously.
year after you had Me First and the Gimmies. Whoa, I love my punk stuff. Like, I don't feel appreciated that much, but...
And towards the end of the night, the two headliners were While She Sleeps and Don Broco, so I went to While She Sleeps for a little bit, and then I legged it over to Don Broco.
I mean, fuck me. In 2019, I would have just stayed at the Punk and Drublic stage.
I would have wanted to see other artists. I'm trying to remember
2019. Bomb Pops, Anti-Flag, Mad Caddies, The Interrupters, Lagwagon, Will & Colin, Less Than Jake, Bad Religion, NoFX. I'd stay on that stage the entire day. What?
So...
It's not... How they can get all the good acts is just so great.
So obviously, that year, we all know where I was at the end of the night.
Oh, yeah.
We all know I was watching Bullet. I was there for Atreyu, Story of the Year,
I
Best
think you were
Self-Scene as
watching
well.
these guys here.
I was there for Simple Plan. I was there for Neck Deep. I saw a bit of As It Is, but they weren't great that year, I'm not gonna lie. And I'm trying to remember who else. I saw Seaway. Yeah, because I remember seeing Seaway.
Oh, I love Seaway.
Same, so I went
They
to go
got
see
Canada.
Seaway. I'm trying to remember, because this was, it was 2019, so it's like, I'm trying to remember what exactly, who I
Oh, did you see Turnstile?
No. I didn't listen. I didn't listen to him at that point.
Mate, Glow
I do
On.
a little bit
What
now,
an album.
but then I didn't really listen to them. I'm trying to think. Oh yeah.
Oh, Hello Goodbye. Come on, Hello Goodbye.
That is when Busted were the secret act. So I went to go see Busted.
There was no secret act this year, was there?
No. Nope. A lot of people were thinking that Avril Lavigne was gonna pop up, but because obviously her husband was there, so.
I mean,
like, oh, she's gonna turn up, and she obviously didn't. So.
I mean, excuse me. At this point, we're a music podcast. True crime. What is that?
Yeah, we talk about music every single start of every single
what?
episode because, yeah.
You know what? If people want that,
People
maybe
want
we
us to
should.
do.
A music podcast.
We'll
I'd
do
be
it.
up for that. We could spiel for ages, but you know, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I just wish if anyone's listening.
What would it be called? Would it be called Music Thursdays or something? I don't know. The Music Thursday podcast.
Hey, we're two big music buffs. I've thought about doing a podcast where, you know, each podcast you could just choose an album from like an artist and we just spiel on that and the band, because I have so many albums that I like. I've just thought, even the ones I bought recently, I'm like, oh, you know, I bought like Lil Huddy's album and I thought, you know what, you could get an hour's worth speaking about that, speaking about tracks and stuff, and you know, and Bullet's album, because I had someone reply about me having Bullet's second album and they were like, oh, I like the album, but they didn't just say that, they spieled more. Max, if you're listening, he spieled it and he was like, I like this album, the lyrics are not as more about relationships, etc, etc. The musicianship's better in some songs and stuff. We don't talk about stuff that comes after, you know, my top 3 albums are this, so.
Yeah, I'm looking at the download lineup because obviously that's on Wednesday for me. So I'm gonna look. I'm gonna go watch Kiss because why not? A Day to Remember is a fucking given. Skin Dread, I'll happily.
No, Josh.
I'll happily go and watch Skin Dread. Buried Tomorrow, stuff like that. I'm definitely going to. I might go see Airborne. I'm not 100% sure yet. Saturday, Iron Maiden, obviously. Deftones, maybe.
Oh, come on. Deftones are one of the.
It
Do you
depends
listen
on
to
what.
Deftones?
A little bit, but it depends on what clashes, because I do also want to go and see Ice Nine Kills and Megadeth, so it really depends on what clashes, because I might also try and catch a bit of Creeper or Funeral for a Friend, so it all depends on clashes. Like, there's things that like take priority, obviously. Sunday, don't give two flying fucks about Biffy.
Ah, mon the Biff.
I don't care about Biffy Clyro. If you do, then fair. I'm just not the biggest fan. Korn, I'll happily go see Korn.
Watch what you say.
Rise Against, I'll go see Rise Against. Now the thing is, it's the second stage for me because Steel Panther and The Darkness are also playing, and I'm going for both of them.
Darkness, though.
I'm seeing. Oh yeah, 100%. And
screw Steel Panther. They're good, yeah, but come on. You have Descendants. Come on. Descendants.
I don't really listen to them, whereas Steel Panther would be hilarious.
Oh, come on. Man, Milo Goes to College. That is one of the most groundbreaking albums ever. That thing changed so much. Milo Goes to College. You wouldn't even believe. Oh, my lord. Milo Goes to College. And there's the entire Descendants discography. And all, as well. Just so much music today.
I feel like there's a lot of. You should definitely look at previous.
You like Blink, don't you? You like Blink?
Yeah.
No Descendants, no Blink. No
I
Descendants.
feel like
no effects.
I feel like you
no
should
bad religion.
definitely look at previous download years because some of these lineups are fucking insane.
Mate, you can go see Steel Panther, but all I'm saying is, if you're a favourite band, my favourite band, Blink 182, and stuff like Green Day, wouldn't exist if the Descendants didn't exist.
Mm.
That's giving you the scale.
Why
But
couldn't
there's
I?
so many good acts on there. I mean,
Why couldn't I have been there at 2015?
you want to see them all, but you really can't. But like in terms of I would see Iron Maiden, but I'd also see Megadeth because they're my favorite thrash band. But I'd also see Funeral for a Friend because they're one of my favorite post-hardcore bands. I'd want to see the Deftones. I mean, the Deftones, in my opinion, well, like everyone else's opinion, have such a unique sound that you just know it's like just the Deftones sound. It's quite hard for a band to have like such a distinct sound. But with the Deftones, the change in loud and quiet just Deftones are a field trip for sure. But the like Download and Slam Dunk, there's so many good bands that you have to really weigh out who you really want to see.
I'm
more
looking
than
at
the
the
others.
20. I'm looking at the 2007 lineup right now, and oh my
Sorry.
god, My Chemical Romance were headlining along with Linkin Park and Iron Maiden, and they had Slayer, Evanescence, Killswitch Engage, Stone Sour, Lamb of God, Motley Crue, Billy Talent,
Shikari, let's go.
Shikari,
Saosin.
Korn, Paramore. The fuck.
They had Elliot Minor. Hey.
Megadeth.
Ooh, Napalm Death. Ooh, Real Big Fish.
30 Seconds
Ooh,
to Mars.
oh my god, there's suicidal
Roach.
tendencies. Suicidal tendencies. Head Atomica.
Why could-
Silverstein. Architects as well.
Led Zeppelin. Why could I have not been here?
What's interesting is when you go back and you see a band that's quite low down, and then now they might be very famous.
Yeah, it's weird and that happens.
What else is on there? I can't see much. Oh, Paramore. Oh, Pokemon Tree. Oh, From Ashes to Ashes.
Let me see the first ever download line.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, and Aiden. Aiden's on there as well. But yes, we really do like music, so...
Yeah, if you guys want a separate podcast where we just talk about music, we'll happily do it. But in the
I'll happily do
meantime, let's get on with the murder. So today it is about Mary Bell, the 10-year-old killer. Like, she was 10 when she committed the
Yeah,
murders.
that's already quite hard to settle in. I mean, I called it Eric, but 10.
Yeah, she killed 2 children, so... So, Mary Bell, she was born on the 26th of May, 1957 in Northumberland in the UK. Her parents are Elizabeth Betty Bell and William Bell, except her father is only assumed to be called William Bell since his identity is pretty much not really public. And this is just, well, because, yeah, this was the name that she was given when she was asking about her dad and stuff like that when she was little.
Ah.
Yeah.
I think it's a given. Well, no, I can't say that, but, she's a northerner. And
What the fuck
is
you
that the
trying to
reason she
say?
did the killings?
The fuck you trying to say? She's a northerner.
Oh, I'm just saying that. Just because she's a northerner, this doesn't mean anything. In case anyone listens, I know the north-south divide is a very heated topic, but considering you're in what I assume is the north,
It's the
I don't know
north.
how you class it in England.
It's the north.
Yes, you obviously think the north is better than the south, so
Yeah, because it is.
well, it is. Not just in England, in Scotland as well.
So Mary's mum, Elizabeth, was a known sex worker in the area who was mostly absent from the family home. She frequently travelled to Glasgow to work and simply leave her children in the care of what she thought was her father, if he was ever around. Mary was Elizabeth's second child, and she had Mary when she was only 17 years old. And obviously back in the 1950s, that's a big no-no. Mary doesn't really know fully who her father is, all this kind of stuff. She was told that he was a violent alcoholic and petty criminal with an arrest record for crimes including like armed robbery. However, when she was a baby when William Bell married her mother, and it's unknown if he is actually her biological father. So she does have like a father figure, but it's probably not her biological dad. So she has asked about it as she was growing up. She was pretty much unwanted from the day that she was born, which sucks, and spent most of her childhood being neglected by the entire family. According to her according to her auntie Isa McCricket, within minutes of Mary's birth, her mother had resented hospital staff for attempting to place Mary into her arms, shouting, "Take the thing away from me." So as a baby, toddler and young child, Mary frequently suffered injuries at home. This all happened because she was left alone all the time and her mum just genuinely didn't care. So a lot of people actually started to believe that Elizabeth was purposely being neglectful and was intentionally attempting to harm or kill Mary. On one occasion in about 1960, Betty dropped Mary from a first floor window. On another occasion, she pretty much gave her a shit ton of sleeping pills. Like, so she's really trying to kill her on good.
Wait, gave the kid sleeping pills?
Yep.
And dropping a child, excuse me.
It's an accident that can happen.
Yeah, but, you have to be careful. Come on, you know how many times I've heard of incidents where someone drops the child, and I'm like, how clumsy do you have to be to drop something like that with that much weight? I'm not saying the baby's fat, but like,
yeah, no, I get what you mean.
If you're doing that, then you need to say to yourself, look, I can't look after a child if I'm being this clumsy.
True.
Childs aren't stuff you just throw around and kick around.
Boot it.
So, careful, please.
Yeah, so Elizabeth was also known to have once sold Mary to a mentally unstable woman who was unable to have kids of her own. And this got Elizabeth got Elizabeth's older sister, Catherine, to travel across to Newcastle to get Mary back from this mentally unstable woman and bring her back to her mother's home. So that's already pretty bad. That's definitely childhood trauma. So despite neglecting her child and constantly abusing her, Betty refused repeat offers from her family to take custody of Mary. So multiple family members, including her sister, were saying, okay, I will take Mary, I'll raise her, you really don't want her, and Betty was just refusing. She is alleged to have begun allowing and or encouraging several of her clients to sexually abuse Mary, pretty much a lot in the 60s.
Sorry, allowing someone to sexually abuse their child?
Yes.
Who the fuck allows that to happen?
We've already bloody seen it in one previous episode.
No, but how fucked do you have to be to allow that to happen?
Oh yeah, you got me fucked in the head.
Nah, that's taken on a whole level of extreme. I've seen stuff where people have just gone, go ahead, and just not done anything, and doing that's you're fucked.
Oh,
if
fuck,
you're just gonna let that happen out of your choice.
Mm-hmm. So both at home and at school, Mary exhibited numerous signs of disturbed and unpredictable behaviour, including sudden mood swings and chronic bedwetting, which is key to a child that is going through abuse. She is known to have frequently fought with other children, both boys and girls, and is to have attempted to strangle or suffocate her classmates or playmates on several occasions. One occasion, she is known to have attempted to block the trachea of a young girl with sand. So, yeah. The behaviour made many children reluctant to socialise with Mary, who would frequently spend her free time with a 13-year-old girl named Norma Bell. They're not related, but she lived next door, basically, and they kind of just if there's multiple kids on the same road, parents just like, oh, you two hang out together, kind of thing. But yeah. She's already a bit... Yeah. So according to one classmate, in the junior school that she was at, by 1968, she and her peers had become accustomed to the sudden and random mood swings that she had. And when she began exhibiting distressful mannerisms, including shaking her head and forming a steely gaze, her other classmates knew that she was about to become violent, so that's when they would go away from her. So as soon as she started like shaking her head and started just staring. That's when they're like, uh-oh. Because they said with the focus of her stare being the individual that she would attack, basically. She's like already a very violent child at this point. So on Saturday the 11th of May, a 3-year-old boy was discovered wandering dazed and bleeding in the area of St. Margaret's Road in Scotswood. The child later informed police they had been playing with Mary and Norma Bell on top of a disused air raid shelter when one of the girls, and he wasn't sure which one, had pushed him 7 feet from the roof to the ground, inflicting a severe laceration to his head. The same night, the parents of 3 small girls contacted the police to complain that both Mary and Norma had attempted to strangle their children as they played in a sandpit. They're already both of them are escalating with this. So that night, both girls were interviewed about the attacks. Both girls denied having any involvement, claiming that they had simply discovered the boy bleeding heavily from a head wound after he'd fallen. They got questioned about the attempted strangulation of the 3 young girls, and Mary denied any knowledge of it. However, Norma admitted Mary had tried to throttle each of the girls, stating that Mary went to one of the girls and said, "What happens if you choke someone? Do they die?" Then Mary put both of her hands around the girl's throat and squeezed it. The girl began to go purple, and Norma told Mary to stop, but she wouldn't. She said she then put her hands around Pauline's throat and she started going purple, as well as another girl, Susan Cornish, came up and Mary did the same thing to her. Police notified the local authority of the incidents and of Mary's violent nature, but due to their age, both girls were pretty much just given a warning, and there was no further action after this.
I don't think I've ever seen someone's face purple. What?
I've seen. It's like, did you ever have a kid in school that would basically just like hold the breath, and kind of like practically, it felt like as if they were like pushing something, and just to make the face go purple?
No.
Oh yeah, there was a couple of kids at my school that did that.
Why would you do that?
No one knows. I think it's just to change the colour of the skin, and people, and like stupid kids being kids, found it funny.
People used to do maybe the thing where you could trick yourself into passing out. But no one would do the face going purple thing. Like, what? That seems so stupid that you'd try and make yourself have a purple face. But like, if I saw someone with a purple face, I would freak the fuck out.
Oh,
I'd be like, what? You know, people freak out when they see me and they're like, "Oh, Matthew, you look very white," because that means if you're ill, you look a bit more white. But like purple, whoa, that's like Violet Beauregard territory of like, what have you been doing?
Yeah. That was me. Like the whole looking pale thing. That was me today on the coach back, because I got really bad travel sickness and I threw up on the coach.
You have travel sickness.
Yeah. But I've got travel sickness when you go around country roads and it's really twisty.
Ah, so you don't like John Denver then?
Yeah.
See what I did there?
Mm-hmm.
No, but I have travel sickness. I still think I do. I mean, I had it as a kid. And anyone who doesn't have travel sickness, it's so bad when you're in the car and all you're thinking about doing is bloop.
Yeah, and we were on a coach as well, so it felt even worse, and I just had to like run into the toilet on the coach.
Like not being able to sit in the back, because if you sit in the back, like
I was sat in the back.
You know, trying not to think about stuff, and then your brain goes, "Oh, let's think about vomit."
It was the last half an hour of the coach trip as well, so I was just like,
yeah, it's always like you're so close. And in the last minutes, your brain's like, "Uh-oh, that chicken curry you had, vomit it up." It's horrible. I don't have it as much now. I think you can train your brain to not have it, but like having it for so long as a kid, and still getting it a bit now, it's horrible because you dread a journey thinking, I used to always go on journeys thinking, right, I could go this whole journey and not be sick. Or I'd be like, oh, this journey, how long is it going to take? Half an hour. Oh my god, can I last just a half an hour drive? I don't think I can.
Yeah, it was just not fun, like, at all. You just no. But, oh well. But yeah. Uh, yeah, Kit's skin, like, turning purple because of no. So, I'm gonna go into the murders. The murders. So on the 25th of May 1968, the day before her 11th birthday, Mary Bell strangled 4-year-old Martin Brown in an upstairs bedroom of a derelict house located at 85 St. Margaret's Road. She's believed to have committed this crime on her own. Martin's body was discovered by 3 children at around 3:30 p.m. He was laying on his back with his arms stretched above his head. Aside from the specks of blood and foam around his mouth, no signs of violence were visible on his body. A local workman named John Hall soon arrived on the scene and he attempted to perform CPR, but obviously that just didn't work. As he attempted CPR, 2 local girls, a 10-year-old Mary Bell and Norma Bell, appeared at the doorway to the bedroom. Both were quickly shooed out of the house. The 2 knocked on the door of Martin's auntie, Rita Finley, and told her, one of your sister's boys has just had an accident. We think it's Martin, but we can't tell because there's blood all over him. Which wasn't true. The following day, Dr. Bernard Knight conducted a post-mortem on Martin Brown's body. Knight was unable to find any signs of violence on his body and was unable to determine the child's cause of death, although he was able to discount the investigators' theory that the child had died of poisoning through taking tablets. There was an inquest on the 7th of June and returned an open verdict, but yes, it wasn't like, there's not really a key way that he said how he passed away. So obviously they're not going to suspect that a 10-year-old has done this.
No, but like being strangled is one of the worst ways to go.
Yeah.
You know, people say like, oh, they could be like, oh, but if you get stabbed, all the blood and everything. But when you're strangled, right, you're basically watching the person kill you. But like when you get stabbed, you could die quickly.
Yeah.
When you're being strangled, you're watching them, and you can you don't feel pain anywhere else. You just can't breathe, and you're like, and you're just there gasping, not knowing if you're ever gonna be able to. All you need to do is just get the pressure off, and you could be fine.
Yeah.
And then you just have to watch, and then suddenly, I'm assuming it just all goes black, and you
Gonna
just.
guess
Oof.
so, yeah.
Because I don't know, because I'm still alive.
Yeah.
But I just think it's one of the worst ways when just not being able to breathe and struggling for air, just like the period between you not having that air to then like the minute or so you could be gasping, and lasting that long is horrible. I know other ways of dying are horrible, but for me it just seems like such like a worse way to go, because I just couldn't bear the thought of that happening to anyone I know or me.
True.
Just you know, when they like flailing the arms, trying to kick them off, you know, knowing that just get off me, I'm gonna die, and you're trying your best to flail out of it and fight them off, and then inevitably you can't, and you're just gonna end up slowly losing air. And you know the feeling, you've done that, we've all done it before, we've held our breath.
Yeah.
And you know when you reach a point where you're like, crap, oh.
Yeah.
And you get a breath. But just think about that, but you keep going. And I can't imagine that.
You know? Yeah, exactly. Like it's like drowning. I can't picture like that.
That's bad.
Yeah. So on Mary's 11th birthday, on the 26th of May, Mary and Norma broke into and vandalised a nursery in nearby Woodland Crescent. They entered by peeling tiles off the slate roof, tearing books, upturning desks, and smearing ink and poster paints around the entire nursery before they basically just fucked off. The next day, staff discovered the break-in and all the vandalism and immediately rang the police. Now, they discovered 4 separate notes which claimed responsibility for Martin Brown's murder. One of the notes said, right? So also I need to put this into perspective. This is an 11-year-old who has written this, and she can. There's a lot of bad spelling. So one of them said, "I murder so that I may come back." Another read, "We did murder Martine Brown. Fuck off, you bastard." The third note said, "Fuck off. We murder. What out, Fanny and faggot." Sorry, I hate that last word, but that is basically what she said.
Right, I'm not laughing at that. I'm not laughing at that.
It's the stupid fucking notes.
It's the before that. Nobody comment me. We don't like the F slur. It's horrible.
But that's literally what she wrote.
I'm laughing at the fact is that's so British of anyone to like fuck off or something like that, and a note or fuck off bastard or fanny. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For me, obviously, you're fanny. You're fucking fanny, mate. Lauren's a fanny. Lauren's a big fanny. But it's just funny because it's such a British thing, you know. You wouldn't get that an American, would you? An American wouldn't write that. It's so British just to swear, to add anything, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We just do it all the time, and I'm laughing at the fact that she's like 11 and she's put that in there, you know.
Yeah, it's so
it's
weird.
Like unnecessary, but we just do it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so there's one more note, and that said, oh god. "You are mice. Why? Because we murdered Martine. Go Brown, you. You bet. Look out. There are murders about Fanny and faggot, you screws." And I don't know what the fuck she was trying to put, but that's what she wrote.
You know, I'm quite appalled at 11. She's using the F slur.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe back then it was acceptable because it's the time period. And people use that willy-nilly, but now, don't use that willy-nilly.
No.
I know a lot of people nowadays know that slurs are bad and still use them, and even in the acronym way of FGT is the way people can type it out now.
Yeah.
I mean, just, maybe back in the day, I might have used it jokingly, but like, it's a horrible word to use. I never mean it. If I said it now, it's obviously not meaningful. Like she said it now in that context, but back then at 11, she's willy-nilly writing that.
Oh god, yeah. Like why?
And even the swear words. I mean, I really didn't swear at 11. I know there's like a period of like 12, 13 where you want to swear.
Yeah, because you're like a early teenager. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, oh, I can't wait to say, oh, you know, fuck, oh, just sitting there wanting to say all the swear words, and when you finally can, you're like, shit, piss, fuck, cunt, cocksucker, motherfucker, tits, fart, turd, and twat. In all words under the sun. See what I did there? Nice blink reference.
Yeah.
But, you know, just unnecessary. But,
yeah,
you know, she's British, and, you know, what can you do? You could write the simplest of sentence of, oops, so I didn't get you tea, bastard. Do I care? Fuck no. Fuck yourself or something. You know. Just adding unnecessary swears is such a British thing. Probably quite a big few in Manchester because you guys have quite a potty mouth. Maybe not as much so as us Scottish people, but
yeah,
just funny that she's 11 and saying that. You know, imagine the people at the nursery thinking, "Oh my god, I am so appalled." Oh.
Yeah, the police kind of just thought this was like a tasteless and childish prank, so they didn't really give a shit after that. But then 2 days later, so on the 29th, Mary, shortly before the funeral of Martin Brown, in a game of chicken, both girls called on the house of his mother, asking to see her son. When June explained that they couldn't see Martin because he'd passed away, Mary replied back saying, "Oh, I know he's dead. I want to see him in his coffin."
Oh boy! Whoa!
Yeah.
Sorry, but
She's
what kind of sick joke's that? That's like, what?
Yeah.
They're getting enjoyment out of that, doing a sick prank like that. That's not even...
Yeah, I know. So in the afternoon... Sorry, go on.
No, I just can't comprehend that they actually phoned the mum, being like, "Oh, let me
Oh, no,
see
they
him."
didn't phone the mum. They went to the house.
Oh, sorry, it went to the house.
Yeah.
Oh, my. I mean, why did I say phone? What is... of course they don't phone. Sorry, my bad. The time period, Matthew. Correct yourself. But that's just like them enjoying what they've done and rubbing salt into the wound.
Oh yeah.
I mean, what do you say if kids come to your house and go, "Oh yeah, I want to see your dead son in the coffin"?
Like,
How do you react to that? Imagine if someone said that to me. They came up to my house and went, "Oh, I know your nan's dead. Your grandma's dead. I want to see her in a coffin." I'd be like, "The fuck? What? Excuse
yeah.
me?"
Yeah, I wonder what to say if someone just went, "Yeah, I want to see them."
She's got balls.
Oh,
And the
God.
context of she's got, some nerve. She's not actually got balls. I don't know. She might have had balls. I don't know. But, like, in the context of, like, she's pretty tough to be, like, swearing in notes. Murdering someone at that age. And then going to the house and practically poking fun of the fact that she's murdered this poor woman's son. And just,
Yeah.
11? God, at 11, there was some stuff I didn't dare do because I was so scared I'd get in trouble. This woman has no fear.
Yeah, this kid
And that's
doesn't give a
a
shit.
very worrying sight at 11, that she's got no fear and that she can do anything.
Yeah, so on the afternoon of the 31st of June 1968, 3-year-old Brian Howe was last seen by his parents in the street outside of the house, playing with one of his siblings, the family dog, and Mary and Norma Bell. When he didn't return home later on that afternoon, concerned relatives and neighbours searched the streets without any success. At 10 past 11, a search party discovered Brian's body between two large concrete blocks up the Tin Lizzie. The first policeman to arrive at the scene observed that a deliberate but feeble attempt had been made to conceal the body, which was covered in clumps of grass and weeds. The violence was very much obvious about what had happened to him. There were several bruises and scratches on his neck, and there was a pair of broken scissors lay close to his feet. The coroner would conclude that Brian had died of strangulation and that he had been dead for up to 7.5 hours before his body was found. The killer had evidently squeezed Brian's nostrils closed with one hand as he or she had gripped his throat with the other. Numerous puncture wounds had been inflicted to the child's legs before he died. Sections of his hair had been cut from his head, and this makes it even worse. His genitals had been partially mutilated, and a crude attempt had been made to carve the initial M into his stomach. The relatively small amount of force used to murder the child led the coroner to conclude that the murderer was another child. Numerous grey and maroon fibres were discovered on Brian's clothing and shoes. These fibres did not source from any clothing within his family's home and had been transferred to the child by his murderers. Yeah, it got a lot worse than the first one.
Why do people always go for the cock and balls? Don't laugh.
I don't know. That's the thing, I don't know.
Don't laugh, because I know you like the cock and balls. But, like, come on. It's every case, it'll just be normal, and then the killer somehow just goes, you know what? Oh, up to the cock and balls. I mean, or sometimes the fanny. I mean, it's just horrible. I mean, I don't condone anyone killing anyone, but going for the fanny, well, I mean, I wouldn't blame them. I like fanny. But, like, in all seriousness, just like, people do the killing, and then they just go for more. Unnecessary. Like,
Yeah.
you did enough harm to this poor soul to murder them, or in this case, suffocate, and then you just add more damage to them. No, they don't deserve to die in the first place, and then doing the stuff afterwards is just like, no. But the fact is, they always tend to go for like the cock or something like that and just do something weird with it. No. You wouldn't do that to someone even if they were alive. So
No.
taking the opportunity when they're dead is just more fucked up. And like, what pleasure do you get out of that?
Yeah, the thing
going
is, I
for
don't
body
know.
parts.
Especially with
And-
how young these two are.
Yeah, and especially at that age, you're just on the cusp of puberty, probably. Maybe started it a bit.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe haven't, but like, it's just always someone goes for the cock and balls, and it's like you didn't need to, but you went there and you made it more messed up, and you just didn't have to. You didn't need to kill him in the first place, but then killing them and going there was just that level up you didn't need to go.
Exactly. So, the discovery of his body sparked a large-scale manhunt. Over 100 detectives from across Northumberland were assigned to the investigation, and more than 1,200 children have been questioned with regards to whereabouts they were by the 2nd of August. 2 children questioned by detectives on the 1st of August were Mary and Norma Bell. Witnesses had already informed the investigators that they had been seen playing with Brian shortly before he was believed to have died. In her initial interview, Norma seemed excited, whereas Mary was pretty much more observant. Although both girls were evasive and contradictory with their initial statements, they freely admitted to having played with Brian on the date that he died, but denied having seen him after lunchtime. They were questioned the following day, and Mary stated she remembered seeing an 8-year-old local boy playing with Brian on the afternoon of that day, and that she'd also seen him hitting Brian. She also stated that she remembered that the boy had been covered in grass and weeds as if he had been rolling around in a field, and that he had in his possession a small pair of scissors. Mary then said, "I saw him trying to cut a cat's tail off with the scissors, but there was something wrong with them. One leg was broken or bent." This statement convinced the Chief Inspector James Dobson that Mary was the killer, because only the police knew that the broken scissors were found at the scene. So they hadn't released that piece of information yet. The local boy she named was quickly questioned and was discovered to have been at the airport on the afternoon of that day, with numerous eyewitnesses. So, like, that obviously was not gonna fly. On the afternoon of the 4th of August...
Nice joke.
I didn't realise I didn't even realise I made the joke.
Oh, lies. You knew you planned it.
So, in the afternoon of the 4th of August, the parents of Norma Bell contacted the police, stating their daughter wishes to confess to what she saw of the death of Brian Howe. DCI Dobson arrived at their home, formally cautioned Norma, then asked her what she saw. Norma then informed Dobson Mary had taken her to a stop on the Tin Lizzie, at which point she had been shown Brian's body. Mary had then demonstrated to her how she strangled him. According to Norma, Mary had confessed to her that she had enjoyed strangling Brian, before describing how she had inflicted the scale marks to his stomach with a razor blade, which had been hidden at the crime scene. Norma then led the police to the crime scene and revealed the location of where the razor blade was hidden. The drawing Norma made of the wounds inflicted to the boy's abdomen precisely matched the ones that the coroner described. Mary Bell was visited at her home in the early hours of the 5th of August. On this occasion, she was very defensive when confronted with the accusations and how that she had lied in a statement. Mary said to detectives, "You're trying to brainwash me. I will get a solicitor to get me out of this." Like, bitch, you're 11. Shut the fuck up. Like, what solicitor? You don't know. Later that same day, Norma was questioned again. On this occasion, she made a full statement in which she admitted to being present when Mary had actually done the murder. According to Norma, when the trio were alone, Mary seemed to go all funny, pushing the child to the grass and attempting to strangle him before stating to her, my hands are getting thick, take over." She then ran from the scene, leaving Mary alone with Brian. A forensic examination of clothing owned by the 2 girls revealed the grey fibres discovered on Brian's body were a precise match to the woolen dress owned by Mary. The maroon fibres obviously came from Norma, and the same grey fibres had also been found on the body of Martin Brown. So that's 2 murders now linked to these two kids. Brian was buried in a local cemetery. The ceremony had been attended by over 200 people. According to DCI Dobson, Mary Bell stood outside the Howe household as the child's coffin was brought from the home at the beginning of the funeral process. Dobson later stated, "She stood there laughing and just laughing, rubbing her hands, and I thought, oh my god, I've got to bring her in, she'll do another one." Both girls were formally charged with the murder of Brian Howe at 8 p.m. that evening. In response to this charge, Mary replied, "That's alright by me." Norma burst into tears, simply saying, I'll pay you back for this." So, yeah. Mary wrote a statement about how she admitted to being present when Brian was murdered, but insisting that the murder had been committed by Norma instead. She also admitted that she and Norma had broken into the Woodland Crescent nursery the day after the murder of Martin Brown, saying that they're the ones who vandalised it and left all the, the really fucked up notes. So at this point, they both confessed to it in a way. Obviously, this bitch had to have a psychiatrist evaluation on her. And they concluded that she doesn't have a specific mental disorder, but they do say that she is most likely a psychopath and has personality disorder, quite possibly. Which, no shit. Like, obviously this bitch is not sane.
Nope.
This is a 11-year-old, and she's been arrested for 2 murders. Like, she would have definitely done it again.
Oh, yeah.
Like, without a doubt, she would have done it again. She would have been a serial killer. Without a doubt.
100% would have done it again.
So, the trial started on the 5th of December 1968. Both girls were tried before Mr. Justice Ralph Cusack, and both pleaded not guilty. Against protests from both defense counsel on the day of the trial, Cusack waived the defendant's right to anonymity on account of their age. So the media were allowed to publicise the names, ages, and photographs of Norma and Mary.
You can't really do that now.
Nope.
There are some cases though.
It depends, doesn't it?
I mean, in one of the recent cases where I can't remember the guy's name. I wonder if I can find it. Oh yeah, Alicia McVale.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know about that case?
Not really.
Aaron Campbell, 16-year-old.
Oh, yeah.
Murdered the 6-year-old.
Oh, yeah.
His name was released. And it's fucked up, but to be fair, I mentioned this case because it was in the paper again, because he got beat the fuck up in prison.
Yeah.
Because they left the door open, and someone obviously shouldn't have, because he was in a cell himself, and someone who saw the door was open, saw their chance, went in and went like, "I'm gonna fuck you up," to the point where one of his teeth was through his lips.
Oof.
And I loved to read the article knowing that fucking sick bastard has gotten beaten up, and everyone in the article was praising the person who beat him up.
Yeah.
But obviously it's just a case of like, and this is a case we maybe could cover because it's a sickening case. It happened in 2018, and I remember when it came out it was so fucked because this guy had videos uploaded to YouTube, and it was in Airdrie. I know it was in the Isle of Bute, I think.
Oh.
Or somewhere near the west coast. But obviously his name was released, but he was 16, and
True.
at the time I don't think you could release names, but because of the severity of the case. So
yeah,
obviously,
exactly.
I know there's a lot of them where they can't. Whether people agree with that or not, a lot of people just say just name them, shame them.
I agree with that in a way.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
If someone's done something horrific, don't hide them and give them protection. They deserve to be named and shamed
Yeah,
because of the
exactly.
horrific act they've done. You know, people need to know who they were so they can go down in history as fucking psychos.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, their names and ages, photographs, everything were released to the public, so everyone knew exactly who they looked like. They were sat alongside plain-clothed female police officers in the centre of the court, and they had, like, they're within arm's reach of their families throughout the entire trial. On the 5th day of the trial, Norma testified in her own defence. She denied any, like, involvement with the actual murder of both the kids, but admitted under cross-examination to having known how violent Mary can be and like her history of violence and all this kind of stuff with other kids and all that. And both of them had discussed attacking and killing small children of both genders for a while. So, which is horrific. That literally this would have escalated to something even worse. When she was asked if Mary had demonstrated how the children would be killed, Norma nodded. She then conceded that as Mary began to attack and strangle Brian Howe, she had failed to alert a group of boys playing in the vicinity, stating that she failed to do so as she didn't. She said, "I did not know what was going to happen in the first place." She had stopped hurting him for a bit when the boys were near the concrete blocks. So, like, she had time to process what she was doing and go back to fucking carrying on. Like, she stopped, waited for people to fuck off, then went back straight to it. So, on the 21st of December, Mary testified in her own defence. Her testimony lasted for almost 4 hours. So, it concluded on the 13th of December and was briefly adjourned on one occasion when she began crying in a policewoman's arms. So, it took a lot longer to get through everything that she had to say because, yeah, it was just constantly getting delayed because she kept on crying and delaying everything to avoid talking about it. She denied what Norma said. She said that she had never harmed any of the boys and that her and Norma had later asked, she said that the reason why she asked to see the boy's body in the coffin was because they were daring each other and one of us didn't want to be chicken. And it was just like, yeah. She said that was the reason why, but we all know that's not the reason. So, yeah, she was like, "Oh no, we did it because it was a dare," and it's like, no, you're just a sick little bitch, and you just wanted to go see what you've done. So Mary claimed Norma had been the person to strangle the child as she herself was just standing and looking. Mary said that she couldn't move, and it was as if some glue was pulling them down. She then said that Norma had encouraged Brian to lie down as he wanted some sweets, telling him, "You've got to lie down for the lady to come with the sweets," before she began strangling him with her bare hands. And yeah, this is what Mary was saying. Mary was saying that it was all Norma. She was the ringleader. She didn't do anything. She was just watching, all this kind of bullshit. But then obviously this got proven to be false and Mary was the instigator the entire time. Norma's mum, Catherine, testified several months prior. Catherine had testified that several months prior to the murder of Brian Howe, she and her husband had discovered Mary attempting to strangle Norma's younger sister, Susan, and that she had only released her grip on the kid's throat after her husband had punched Mary in the shoulder to get her off. So, yeah. It's also been said that Norma's mental age is 8 years old when she's like, at this point she's like 13, 14. So the trial lasted 9 days. In completion, on the 17th of December, the jury retired to consider their verdicts and would deliberate for 3 hours and 25 minutes before reaching their verdicts. Mary Bell was cleared of murder but convicted of manslaughter for both boys on the grounds of diminished responsibility. Norma Bell was acquitted of all charges. When they heard the jury's verdict, Norma clapped her hands in excitement, whereas Mary burst into tears, and so did her parents. So passing the sentence, Judge Cusack described Mary Bell as a dangerous individual, adding she posed a very grave risk to the other children and that steps must be taken to protect the public from her. She was sentenced to be detained at the... It's kind of like... She was sent to one of the same places that the Bulger killers was sent to. Like, so just a remand home. So it's kind of... it's like a prison, but it's also kind of not, because it's fit for more children. So it's like a mixture of prison and a foster home.
Yeah.
So yeah, like that's where they got sent to. It's more. I kind of understand it because they are insanely young.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's where they got sent to. She got sent to one in Durham before being transferred to a second remand home in South Norwood. She was then transferred to Red Bank Secure Unit, which is the same one the Bulger killers would eventually get sent to. Little interesting fact for you there. And this was in Merseyside, and this was in early 1969, and she was the only female among around 24 inmates, which that must have not been fun, but oh well. So she would later claim that she was sexually abused by a member of staff and several inmates while at this facility, claiming that the sexual abuse began when she was at the age of 13. Which, to be fair, wouldn't shock me if that is true. Because it's, yeah. Like, it's kind of like a very it's something that is actually quite well known that in a lot of remand homes that has happened quite a lot. Like, sexual abuse is quite common by staff, which is horrific, but that is very, very common. In November 1973, when she was 16, she was transferred to a secure wing of HM Prison Style in Cheshire. Around this time, Mary Bell resented her transferal to this facility, and while she was held in prison there, she unsuccessfully applied for parole. In June 1976, she was transferred to Moore Court Open Prison, when she undertook a secretarial course, so she's starting to try and like rebuild her life, I guess. 15 months later, in September 1977, she again made national headlines when she and another inmate, Annette Priest, briefly escaped from the prison. Both of them spent several days in the company of two young men in Blackpool. Ugh, like Blackpool, really? But then again, it's like 1970, so I think Blackpool was less of a shithole then.
It's not that bad.
It's bad. It is bad.
I've been there.
I've been to Blackpool. It's fucking shit. So they were just going around like all the amusement stuff and sleeping in various local hotels, and they're just kind of like having like a little holiday, I guess. And Mary Bell used the name Mary Robinson before both her and Annette kind of like separated. She was arrested at the Derbyshire home for one of the men, Clive Shirtcliffe, on the 13th of September, having by this stage dyed her hair blonde, trying to disguise who she actually was. So she was really trying to, like, she was going all like full movie level shit with this. She was then returned to custody that evening, and Priest was arrested in Leeds days later. Her penalty for escaping was a loss of prison privileges for 28 days. That's literally all that changed. Like, her sentence didn't change, she just lost prison privileges for a bit. Which, I think that's really fucking weird.
Yeah.
Like, you escaped for quite a while. Let's just take away a couple privileges for a month. Like, no. So in June 1979, the Home Office announced their decision to transfer Mary Bell to HM Prison Arxham Grange, which is an open category prison in the village of Arxham Richard, in efforts to prepare her for her eventual release into society. So this was planned for the following year. In November 1979, she worked first as a secretary, then as a waitress in a cafe in York Minster. So this was like a thing that they did to prepare her for when she would eventually get out. So she got a job, and it was kind of like just to make sure you knew what you were doing, because when she got put in prison, she was 11. She's not going to know what the world's like or how anything really properly works as an adult, because there's no prep there.
Nope.
So she was released from the prison in May 1980 at the age of 23, same age as me. Having served almost 11 and a half years in custody, she was granted anonymity, including a new name, allowing her to start a fresh new life elsewhere in the country under a assumed identity. When she was released, a spokesman is quoted as saying, "Bell wishes to be given a chance to live a normal life and be left alone." It's 4 years after her release, on the 25th of May 1984, she gave birth to a daughter. She has a child. This would prove to be her only child. Her daughter didn't know anything about what her mum had done until 1998, when reporters found Mary in the location that she was in, which was in a resort town on the Sussex coast, where they'd been living there for about 18 months, but reporters found her, and then it's kind of like the whole awkward, wait, why do these reporters know who you are? Why do they care? And that conversation must have been fucking sucky for that daughter. So the media revelation forced Mary and her 14-year-old daughter to leave their home and be driven to a safe house by undercover officers. Both Mary and her daughter later relocated to another part of the UK. She's apparently returned to Tyneside on several occasions in the years following her release. Tyneside, sorry. Following her release, she is also alleged to have lived in this location for a while. So there you go, people who live there. So obviously she's had this child now. So Mary's daughter also has anonymity as well. And this was extended until she reached the age of 18. However, on the 21st of May 2003, Mary won a High Court battle to have her own anonymity and that of her daughter extended for life. So yeah, Mary's daughter will be protected, which I do understand in a way, because she's not done anything, but she will get a lot of fucking abuse.
Yes.
So this order was approved, and this also was later updated to include Mary Bell's granddaughter, who was born in 2009, and she's just referred to as Z, yeah.
Yeah.
So this, I get it, it helps a lot. In 1998, Mary Bell collaborated with an author to provide an account of her life before and after her crimes. So it's just where she talks about like her abuse, the abuse that she suffered when she was a kid, at the hands of her mum and all this kind of stuff, which is how we know quite a bit about what her mum initially did to her. No one knows where she is now, and she is still, obviously, the entire family is still protected. So Mary Bell says that she doesn't think that she was wrongly convicted and freely admits that the abuse that she suffered as a child does not excuse her crimes. So from what we know, she's not reoffended. It seems to have gone the right way.
Yeah.
But I don't know, what do you think?
I mean, she's a grandma now?
Yeah.
Prison should have been in there for a bit longer, to be fair.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It's just horrible what she did. And then it's one of those cases where children have to bear the weight of something their parents did that they had no control over.
Yeah.
She had some anonymousness, but like people probably already knew, because I think in one case she had to move because they found where she was staying.
Yeah.
But returning back to the area where you did the stuff, no, no, no.
Yeah, no,
That's
that
wrong.
part I really don't like.
That's wrong. That's wrong.
There should be like a part of her release should have been you can't go back here.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is the case of Mary Bell. So if you're listening, Mary, hi. Hope you're good. Hope you're very,
No.
very. Well, I
I hope
hope
she's not good.
Well, no, yeah, you're hoping that she's. We're hoping that you are living. You won't be like. Oh, we just hope that you're just doing normal shit. Best way of putting it. Please, be
Hope
doing
you're
normal.
rotting.
Yeah.
Horrible woman. Horrible.
Yes. Yeah, sorry that I've been a bit dead during this episode, but like I said, I just got back from Songdong Festival today. So, I am very tired. Very, very tired. I think, well, because our checkout was at 12, and I think I woke up, must have been about 9 o'clock, and I got in at 3 in the morning, so very tired.
Ah.
Yeah.
Understandable.
Yeah, I am very tired. I'm very, very sleepy. I don't know who we're going to cover next week. I'll have to think a bit more when I'm back from download.
I'll pick.
Oh, you want to do this one?
Yeah, I'll pick one and I'll give it a go.
Nice. Yeah, that sounds good. Because I'll be back from download and I'll be very, very tired. I'll probably be notably worse.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll do it like that. That'll be pretty good. Thank you. Thank you for not making me have to research things.
Yay!
I won't be able to do it. I'll be too tired. Yeah, let us know if you want us to do a music podcast, because we'll happily do it.
Yeah, mate. You want to hear me spiel? I could spiel, and I know Lauren can as well.
Especially when it comes to music. And if I'm doing a lot, because I'm photographing a lot more gigs now, probably would be pretty good.
Yeah, it would be. If you want us to do one, let us know. And even if you don't let us know, we'll do it anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll come up with something. But yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this. Let us know what you think about us doing videos now. Definitely let us know. And yeah, we'll see you guys next week. I'm going to go to bed.
Yes, see you next time when we cover whoever I decide to pick.
Exactly.
Yes,
but
please.
also go check out our Instagram for updates.
Yes, go check it. Go like our post, please.
Yes.
Please.
Alright, we'll see you next time. And if you're at Download Festival, then come say hi. I think we're in the blue camp.
Tag Lauren.
Yeah, I think we're in the blue camp, so come say hi in the blue camp. But yeah, see you guys next week, and thank you, Matt.
No problem.
Right, bye guys.
Bye.